Welcome. So it's the first Sunday of Advent, the time of expectancy as we await the arrival of Christmas, the arrival of Christ. Because just as we don't believe that heaven is some future thing that happens when we die, we don't believe that Christ is some past thing that happened before we were born. Instead, we believe we are continuously being invited into the divine flow, into continued creation, into Word made flesh. So why all the expectancy? Why all the hubbub around this time of year, this day? Perhaps a metaphor. I'm a big fan of the physical meets spiritual practice of yoga. And when we're in a balancing posture like tree pose, arms are in the air, one leg is bent and perched on the other, the core is tight, and as importantly as any of those, the gaze is fixed. Yogis call it a dristi, or yogic gaze. It kind of reminds me of staring off into space as a kid. You're not exactly looking at anything, but you're definitely staring at a focused point. Creating this stillness in your gaze allows for more balance in your posture. And so it is with our focus on this day. Christmas can be our dristi, our focus point, but it is not in and of itself the most important thing. It can be a point we look to that allows the rest of our life, ourself, to hope for peace, love, joy. This season beckons us towards what Christ beckons us toward but never fully realized, because they continue to unfold and reveal themselves to be deeper wells than we can yet imagine. Our yogi friends insist on calling yoga a practice, because it's not a place of arrival, but a place of becoming. What if we saw our faith that same way? A practice, room for losing our balance, our dristi, and finding it again, maybe in a new way. What if our eternal fate isn't resting in the balance there, but we are instead encouraged to wander and meet God, find peace, hope, love, and joy in all kinds of unexpected places? What if the Christmas message is really and truly an invitation from a loving friend and not an expectation at all? The kind of loving friend that you can say no to and will still love you, really and truly, and keep inviting you. It's all in the story. God born into helpless baby in lowly stable, a really unexpected place. Wandering wise men who were likely Islam's predecessors, and shepherds, likely not very religious, definitely not educated. To find their way, they follow stars, natural phenomenon, and angels, mystical messengers, all on their way to a weak and helpless baby God. What do you hear in this story? What message might it hold for you, for your life, for how we meet God? The gifts in this story are not in encasing it in carbonite and preserving it just as it was understood in years past, but instead letting it come alive, letting it infiltrate our lives and hearts now and venture into what it all means. This God, this Jesus, these words that create these stories. The one book of the Bible that depicts Jesus coming a little differently says, "The Word was made flesh and dwelt among us." Perhaps this is the same invitation for this indwelling, this living into, this dynamic, real, hopeful words, that they might become flesh. Maybe this is our gift. Maybe this is what it means to be human and divine, all balled into one. That we can live out our wisdom, that we can learn how others have, that we can look to each other and make word, idea, hope, peace, love, all of it, flesh, in ourselves. And that's what these traditions are about, inviting us in, inviting our dristi back when it wanders and we lose our balance. knowing and normalizing that we lose our way, because that's part of it, and creating space to enter in over and over, and trusting the work of becoming is happening right there in the midst of all of it. The unexpected places and unexpected messengers and weak, lowly little babies. That's why we drink bread, we drink wine, we eat this bread and offer this cup. Not as a way to say who is in or who is out based on what you believe or what rituals you participate in, but to invite all to the table. To invite us all into this ancient story that is part of our story. That bread and juice hold a tangible connection to people throughout time, wanting to live out Word made flesh, hope made flesh, peace made flesh, love made flesh. That you may meet God in this unexpected place, in this ordinary food and drink together, in these ordinary people. That all of this may become something more than words, ideas, or ideals, and ever grow into our being. On his last night with his friends, Jesus took some bread, and he broke it, and he blessed it. And he offered it to his friends. And he asked that this be done in remembrance of him, in remembrance of good made flesh, of peace made flesh, of hope made flesh, of love made flesh. And in a similar way, he would have taken some wine, probably would have looked like this. But in whatever way, he would have opened it and poured it. In this beautiful gift of a metaphor, he would have said, "This is my blood shed for you, for the forgiveness of sins, that all might be nourished, that all might go forth and do even more amazing things than Jesus accomplished in his own life. Take and eat and drink. Do this in remembrance." Amen.